For today's recipe, we have a pork butt. We've got approximately an 8-pound pork butt. I recommend getting somewhere between an 8 and 10-pound butt. We've also got some coarse sea salt, and like I said, some 16 mesh black pepper. When it comes to trimming pork butts, I keep it very simple. This has a good fat cap on it. A lot of times pork butts will have a pretty thick one. This one does as well. So I do like to take off a little bit of that fat cap. I like to trim it down some. Sometimes I'll actually even score it uh, into the score. I've done that before as well. But I'm going to take off some of this fat cap. Just take it around. You want to leave some on. You don't want to take all of it off, obviously. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. And I'm saving the pork fat over here. You can always use that to render down into some pork tallow, kind of like you would do beef tallow. That actually looks pretty good right there. Now on the pork butt, I really don't do a whole lot more to it. The other side, I don't even worry about doing anything to that side. Let's talk about the meat for a second. What you do want is to make sure that you've got good marbling throughout the meat. If you don't have good marbling, sometimes it's hard for it to render down. But what you want is for this good marbling to render down through that cooking process and to continue to maintain juices internally within the pork fat. Let it break those collagens down and make it into just delicious pork that just almost melts in your mouth. So I'm going to be cooking fat cap up. So the first thing I'm going to do is season the non-fat cap side. I'm just going to put a little bit of mustard on here, not a whole lot, but this mustard acts as a binder. I don't go real thick. I do put it on rather thin, but I've never tasted it whatsoever. And first thing I'm going to do is put the black pepper. If you put the salt on first, a lot of times it's hard to get the black pepper to actually stick. I like to be able to get a good coat of black pepper on there. If you mix them together, what you'll find is the black pepper will tend to settle. And as it does that, it makes it very hard to get it to stick the way you want it to. So just go around the edges like that. Keep working your way around. And it's a dense piece of meat. So like I always tell people, you can definitely go heavy. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put on our kosher salt. And I mean, this salt and pepper recipe on pork, Texas style, is delicious. And it's delicious when you do this the exact same way on any other kind of pork. Don't forget to get it up on its edges. Sometimes it can be tricky because these things get a little bit slick. Just keep going around it just like that. And go pretty heavy on the salt and the pepper. Like I said, you're not gonna overdo it. And then I'm gonna flip it over because I'm gonna be doing, like I said earlier, the fat cap is gonna be up. So I'll go back in here, put just a little bit of mustard. The fat cap side will probably be the hardest side to get the stuff to adhere to. So it's important you have some kind of binder on that side. And I'm going to be cooking fat cap up because tomorrow we're going to be cooking this in the Weber kettle, Master Touch. So I'm actually doing this seasoning here the day before. I'm going to let it set overnight in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow morning we'll get this on. We got the pork butt all seasoned, good generous coat of kosher salt, black pepper, using a little bit of yellow mustard as a binder. And what I'm going to be doing is wrapping this up in a little bit of saran wrap, covering it up with a little bit of foil, putting it back in the fridge, and we're going to let it sit there overnight. The longer you can allow this to sit in the salt and pepper brine, the more deeply those flavors can penetrate into the pork. So you want to do it at least 3 or 4 or 5 hours, but if you can go overnight, that's even better. How it looks when I get it all wrapped up in saran wrap. Just put it down there. And I didn't use small saran wrap. I went to Sam's and bought some commercial size saran wrap in a huge box. It has about 3,000 feet in it. and it's heavy, and you can pull it out and you can basically roll this up in that. So if you found value in today's video and you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so in the past. And get out there, get those smokers fired up, make some delicious barbecue that everybody in your neighborhood is going to love. So until the next time I see you, happy smoking.